Good morning. Morning, everybody. Welcome to the First Universalist Church of Yarmouth. My name is John Auble. I'm a worship assistant this morning from the Worship Council. A warm welcome to everybody gathered here and, of course, to our friends and family joining us via Zoom. At First Universalists, our mission is to explore our faith, embrace this community, and to engage the world as spiritual seekers. May we take these words to heart. If this is your first time to our congregation, welcome. We invite you to fill out a connection card located in the pew in front of you, so you may be connected with programs here that interest you. You can drop it in the offering plate, which is passed later in the service. For those of us joining with young children, unfortunately, due to illness, nursery care is not available today. However, our nursery is still located down out that door, down the hallway on the left if you need an escape room. So it'll be there for you. Following our service, all are invited to join us for a coffee hour. I was going to say happy hour, but it's happy. Coffee hour, our time of friendship and fellowship downstairs in the gathering room. For more info about church happenings, see your Sunday morning news, or come ask us questions at the welcome table downstairs. We can help you get connected. Now, I have 3 announcements today. Following our service today, we will have an info session about our upcoming comprehensive capital campaign called Building on Love. This is one of 4 information sessions that will be immediate. So it'll be immediately after this service at 11:45, then again via Zoom at 5 p.m. tonight. Then we'll do the same thing next week. Again, immediately following the service, we'll have a Q&A session, an information session from 11:40 onward, then again at 5 via Zoom for those people who'd rather attend that way. And of course, we're always available for questions anytime, anywhere. Secondly, following our worship service, Reverend Hillary will lead our monthly Soul Matters discussion on our January theme of story. So grab your coffee and snacks. Meet us in the common room also at 11:45 to 12:30. All are welcome. And finally, this Tuesday morning at 8:30, Reverend Hillary will lead our monthly Lectio Divina, sacred reading and reflection practice from 8:30 to 9:30 in the gathering room. And now, I invite you all to take a deep breath and a big stretch. As we settle into this time together, our music director, Sam Chandler, will lead us into worship.
Thank you, Sam. I feel like I should have come out twirling. I also feel like maybe a movie night is in store at some point this midwinter. Good morning, friends. How are you? It's good to see you. I'm Reverend Hillary. I serve as the minister of our church that sits upon unceded land, once and still tended by Wabanaki peoples, on the banks of a sacred muddy river, once and still called the Wescustigo. And it is with peace and friendship that I say, whoever you are, wherever you're from, whomever you love, whatever it is you have done or need to do, however you identify, and wherever you find yourself along this spiritual path, you are welcome here. You are. And we are so glad that you have joined us in peace and friendship this morning. Beloveds, today on our last Sunday of this month of story, we will spend some time reflecting on the plot lines of our lives, the plot lines of this moment, and we'll consider how we can develop more agency in the story being written right here, right now, and the story being written out there right now. We'll do our best. That's all we can do, and it is what we must do. Our opening words are a poem by the Scottish writer Edwin Muir. And Muir lived a life that was beset by endless tragedies, but inspired along the way by great love. The poem we read today is titled The Way, and it is perfect for two voices, or really a chorus of voices, and how serendipitous there is a printed copy of it in your order of service today. And I ask, will you read this poem with me this morning? I can be the worrisome, non-italicized voice, and you all can be the wise, italicized voice. Sound okay? All right. The Way by Edwin Muir. Friend, I have lost the way. The way leads on. Is there another way? The way is gone. I must retrace the track. It's lost and gone. Back, I must travel back. None goes there, none. Then I'll make here my place. The road leads on. Stand still and set my face. The road leads on. Stay here, forever stay. I cannot find the way. The way leads on. Oh, the places I've passed. And what will come at last? The road leads on. Let's read it again. This time, we all can be the non-italicized voice. And I wonder, is anyone here feeling wise this morning? Wise and italicized? Can I have a few volunteers? Yes, Stu. All right, buddy. A few volunteers to be the wise italicized voice. Sarah, Stu, a couple more. And great. Yeah, if you are feeling wise and italicized this morning, I want you to holler out those lines at us poor souls who just want to stay here and set our face. All right? So, all right, those of us who are going to read non-italicized, here we go. Friend, I have lost the way. The way is on. Is there another way? The way is one. I must retrace the track. Back, I must travel back. Then I'll make here my place. Stand still and set my face. Stay here, forever stay. I cannot find the way. Oh, the places I've passed. And what will come at last? Excellent. Thank you. Good morning, my fellow Journeys people. As we settle into this space and time together, let's turn to our neighbors now, wish them a good morning, and ask them how they are. Do you need this? And friends, will you rise now in body and spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, number 1046, in your paperback teal hymnal, Shall We Gather at the River? And thank you, strummers, for leading us. We're going to sing verses 1, 2, and 4. Perfect.
Four measure intro.
Thank you, strummers and friends. Will you remain risen and join in the words of our unison affirmation? They're written in your order of service. We are united in seeking to increase love with justice and to constitute a free church open to all people. Mindful of our past and drawing upon modern knowledge, we respond to the spiritual needs of persons and are devoted to the common good in community, nation, and world. We cherish the integrity of each individual and search for truth with reason as our guide. We respect differences of opinion and strive to be a democratic community. We are concerned with this world and open to the future. You may be seated, friends. Yes. And thanks to John for lighting our chalice this morning.
If I could have some help from any children would like to come up here and help me light the chalice, it's time to play with fire. We can burn things. Come on up. Will you hold the mic for me?
I already have it.
Oh, and do you know our words? We light our chalice. You ready to lead us? Okay, I will light this and we will do it. Oh, are you going to join us? Come on. And when we're done, remember, we're going to blow out the candle with a wish, right? All right, here we go.
We light our chalice in peace and friendship.
Oh, it's smoky. Well done.
Thanks, everybody. You can return to your seats now. Good morning, Mac. Good morning, Gwen.
Awesome. I'm going to run around. No worries. Good morning, everybody.
And, okay, so today, this morning, we are going to invite you all to participate in a short writing
Or drawing.
prompt. We're going to be writing down our own 6-word stories.
Or sketching a very simple, quick idea.
These 6-word stories are going to be about what this year will be like. It could be what you want to do, who you want to spend time with, or what's important for you in the coming year.
And with only 6 words,
Or a simple picture.
show us your story.
My 6-word story about the year to come is slow down, pay attention, cause trouble.
Nice.
Love it.
She went to Harvard. That's why she can do that on the spot.
My 6-word story is I will lead with radical love.
Beautiful. All right, and my 6-word story is loving kindness with friends and adventures.
Yeah.
All right. So now it is time for you to write your 6-word story. Hopefully you have a piece of paper and something to write with, or you can share writing implements with a friend.
Or you can go ahead and draw it. And Gwen and I had a little practice. We took our time. Hillary was on the spot. So once you have one, I'm going to come around with the mic and feel free to share. No pressure.
First thought, best thought. Maybe. Maybe it is.
Alrighty. Who's got a 6-word story they'd like to share?
Mine is mend all hearts, grow more love.
Love that.
Oh, what am I waiting for?
Ooh.
Slow down, be kind, and curious.
I will not be afraid, mostly.
Loving the hell out of life.
I will persevere during this time.
Keep hope alive, love, and action.
Give as much as is given to me.
Thank you.
Get stronger, be braver, stay connected.
That's great.
Wow.
Anyone want to finish us off? Any last volunteer?
Getting my steps in today.
Nurture love, peace, hope, and joy.
Remember, this is all a gift.
And I think Minna was raising her hand.
You want to share yours?
Peace.
We got one word story. That was
Beautiful.
wonderful. Thank you, Minna.
That's the winner.
All right, thank you. Thank you all for sharing. Those were beautiful.
So beautiful.
Now, this morning in Children's Chapel, we'll be sharing some of our stories, and in fact, we'll be building our stories out of Legos.
And in junior youth group, we'll be continuing to work on the blankets we're making for our fundraiser for the Animal Refuge League.
But before we head downstairs, let's say our children's blessing. We are
Unitarian Universalists, people of open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands.
We now come to the time in our service that we set aside for quiet prayer and meditation. Following this time of silence, I'll ring a chime, and all will be invited to come forward and light a candle for a joy, sorrow, or concern you have today. But first, friends, will you join me in taking a deep, refreshing breath in? And a calming breath out. And relax into a sacred time of quiet. At this time, and I invite you to repeat after me a short prayer of loving kindness. May we and all beings be happy. May we and all beings be healthy. May we and all beings live in safety. May we and all beings live in peace. May it be so, and I invite our strummers up to play for us Spirit of Life. You may remain seated, friends, but we welcome you to join us in singing. Thank you, strummers. Then I invite Strummer John to offer our offering this morning.
This morning's half plate is for an organization called In Her Presence. In Her Presence acts on the belief that every person has the right to flourish with dignity and worthiness. Organized and led by immigrant women living in Maine, In Her Presence offers workshops such as single mom support, parent coaching, senior support, and business cross-cultural conversations. In Her Presence provides a platform for Maine immigrant women and children to better integrate and succeed here in Maine. For those in the sanctuary this morning, we will be passing the offering plate. For those gathered with us online, you're invited to make your offering using the donate button in the order of worship or by dropping a check in the mail. Thank you for your generosity.
Well, the moon is broken and the sky is cracked. Come on up to the house. The only thing that you can see is all that you lack. Come on up to the house. All your crying don't do no good. Come on up to the house. Come down off the cross, we could use the wood. Come on up to the house. Come on up to the house. Come on up to the house. Says my home, I'm just a passing through. Come on up to the house.
There's no light in the tunnel, no irons in the fire. Come on up to the house, and you're singing soprano in the junk band's choir. Come on up to the house. Does life seem nasty, brutish, and short? Come on up to the house. The seas are stormy and you can't find no port. Come on up to the house. Come on up to the house. Come on up to the house. I got no home, I'm just passing through. Come on up to the house.
Well, there's nothing in the world that you can do. You got to come on up to the house. You've been whipped by the forces that are inside of you. You got to come on up to the house. You got your eye on top of your mountain of woe. You got to come on up to the house. You know you should surrender, but you can't let go. You got to come on up to the house. Come on up to the house. Come on up to the house. It's not my home, I'm just passing through. Come on up to the house.
Thank you, strummers and friends. Will you rise in body and spirit and join in our song of thanksgiving? Feel free to sing it with your best Tom Waits voice. Thank you all for your generosity. You may be seated. Thank you so much, strummers. Our reading this morning is a poem, and it calls for a little backstory before I share it with you. This poem is the result of an online workshop led by Dr. Alexis Pauline Gumbs, who's a brilliant writer, organizer, and scholar of Audre Lorde. This workshop she led was focused on the teachings of the great and powerful Audre Lorde, and it concluded with a collectively written poem inspired by a line in one of Lorde's poems. You see, Audre Lorde was one of a few brave souls who forged a way for departments of Black studies and African American studies to be included in academia. But when she finally found herself as a professor of Black studies, Lord, whose tenet, the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house, wondered if she was now part of an oppressive system, or if she could still use her own tools to dismantle this confining house. Audre Lorde's poem that inspired the collective poem that Alexis Pauline Gumbs wrote with her students was called Black Studies. And her class was drawn specifically to this stanza. In a room on the 17th floor, writes Audre Lorde, my spirit is choosing. I am afraid of speaking the truth, but in a room on the 17th floor, my body is dreaming. And with that, our reading today is an excerpt from a collectively written poem titled, My Spirit is Choosing. And it's on the slightly longer side. Let this just wash over you like a prayer. See where it takes your mind. In a classroom on the 17th floor, my spirit is choosing. My spirit is choosing truth. My spirit is choosing freedom. My spirit is choosing to be seen more fully. My spirit is choosing me. My spirit is choosing expression. My spirit is choosing activation. My spirit is choosing to take the risk for love. My spirit is choosing peace. My spirit is choosing my peace and the preciousness of it. My spirit is choosing care. My spirit is choosing care. My spirit is choosing to surrender. My spirit is choosing belonging, no longer in question. My spirit is choosing choice. My spirit is choosing to notice, and my spirit is choosing to love anyway. My spirit is choosing joy. 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 My spirit is choosing the risk of connection. My spirit is choosing to trust the love. My spirit is choosing an unknown. My spirit is choosing to listen. My spirit is choosing to love. My spirit is choosing to love. My spirit is choosing self-love. My spirit is choosing tenderness and doing things slow. My spirit is choosing to let it go. My spirit is choosing to ride constant heartbreaks like gentle waves that teach me to move in new ways. My spirit is choosing movement, always movement. My spirit is choosing to lean into, maybe love, what I do not know. My spirit is choosing the soil. My spirit is choosing surrendering to your rage. My spirit is choosing to jump through portals past fear. My spirit is choosing its particular place in the constellation of it all. My spirit is choosing to remember the miracles. My spirit is choosing to grow like trees. My spirit is choosing to commune with my spirit. My spirit is choosing to be free. My spirit is choosing you. My spirit is choosing us. My spirit is choosing. Like many of you, I'm sure, I once had a job with a boss who drove me insane. Well, once is an understatement. I've had many jobs that tested my patience, fried my nervous system, and called into question whether all beings do in fact possess inherent worth and dignity. Can anyone in here relate? I'm thinking back on this one job in particular, though, today, because I developed a mantra during that time that not only enabled me to survive, but also taught me an important lesson about my own role in perpetuating suffering, both my own suffering and the suffering of others. For whatever reason, this mantra, which helped me stay sane while working under a rather frustrating administration, popped back into my head this week. Throughout my adult life, I have rarely been without a mentor, and my time working at that teeth-grinding job was no exception. Going for a walk with my mentor during a particularly trying month, she interrupted my ceaseless screed of complaints and said simply, "Hillary, don't get sucked in." The list of grievances I had been endlessly doom-scrolling in my mind came to a halt. "You can't get sucked in like this," she said again. "You will lose yourself, and you will deaden your spirit." "Don't get sucked in" became a guiding tenet for me through that job. And by keeping that mantra as my North Star, I realized how I indeed had lost myself. Yes, there was undeniable dysfunction at that workplace, but I, lost in the tantrums of my own comfort-seeking ego, was doing nothing to weaken its power over me. It had indeed sucked me right in. But by choosing not to get sucked in, I found I could drop the competitiveness, drop the resentment, drop the arrogance and anxiety that was shaping my persona, and complete the tasks of my job as myself, guided by my own spirit and sense of right, wrong, and responsibility. And then, miraculously, at the end of the day, let it go. I became more productive and happier, light in heart, deep in spirit. I became aware of my mind's addiction to my discontent, how its natural tendency was to slide away into litanies of complaints. But this mantra, "don't get sucked in," somehow had the power to stop my whining ego in its tracks. I actually began to find amusement in my propensity to get sucked in and would chuckle at myself when I noticed there I was again, losing my mind. And now this week, my spirit, once again, is alerting me to this tendency, pointing out that I am at risk of losing myself again. And so what pithy phrase is my spirit choosing to holler at me? What do you think? Don't get sucked in. In this Unitarian Universalist sanctuary, we naturally bring together people of many religious and spiritual backgrounds and understandings. I think I've shared before up here that the most important part of our service for me each Sunday is our quiet time of prayer and meditation. I find it so profoundly meaningful because during those couple of minutes of silence, we are all praying and meditating and being with Spirit in our own way, in the way that makes sense to us, that naturally arises in us. And so therefore this practice, this communion with Spirit or breath or God or love or now or whatever is sacred to you in that moment is as true and real as it gets. Simply put, during those few moments of quiet, your spirit is choosing. our spirits are all choosing together. Adrienne Marie Brown, a good friend of Alexis Pauline Gumbs, is a contemporary activist, writer, and visionary. Brown refers to herself as a crisis doula, supporting people through the labor of living in this age of nonstop crises. She explains that the activism needed now requires us all to grow a garden of healing ideas. In the weekly podcast she produces with her sister called How to Survive at the End of the World, Adrienne Marie Brown often asks herself and others, what's the quickest way to the heart of the matter? What's the quickest way to the heart of the matter? And this past week, she published a piece of writing that got right to it. The piece was titled, It's Our Turn to Carry the World. And it began with a practice she called a community safety ritual. And the practice went like this. Community safety ritual. Write down or bring to mind the names of those you commit to protecting, specific names and targeted groups. It can be a long list or a short one. It just needs to be a true commitment for you. It is our turn to carry the world. Might I invite you, my spirited friends, to halt the ceaseless doom scrolling of your precious minds, and instead, right now, this week, develop another list to scroll through during this month, this year, these years, this life. Can I invite you, compel you to make a list of the names of those you commit to protecting now and going forward? Specific names and targeted groups. It can be a long list or a short one. It just needs to be a true commitment for you. We can get to the how later. Just figure out what your true commitment is now. And I bet the how will follow. And with this practice in mind, let's just take another sacred moment of quiet to see if we can begin this practice of community care by letting our spirits guide the way. Let's see what our spirits choose if we are quiet and reflect on who we want to commit to protecting now. Let's take a breath and let our spirits choose. Whatever has arisen from your spirit, let it make an imprint on your mind and heart that you can return to. Reverberating in my mind since our Martin Luther King service last week is the mantra that guided him through many a spiritual trial. That mantra, hatred and complacency corrode the soul. Love, he said, love is ultimately the only answer to humankind's problems. Do not get sucked in, my friends. For it is our turn to carry the world. It is our turn to carry each other. It is our turn to grow a garden of healing ideas. It is our turn to make a true commitment to protect somebody. Our spirits are choosing. Will we honor their choice? Will we listen? Will we live our precious lives in accordance with our spirits? Adrienne Marie Brown concludes It's Our Turn to Carry the World with a closing ritual. Now take that piece of paper, she writes, with the names of those you commit to protecting and memorize it. This is your spell of community safety. When you have it in your tongue and bones, bury it into dirt you love, so the earth holds this commitment with you, with us. This is no time to be half-hearted in your faith, my friends. No time. This is a time for true commitments, for spells of community protection. This is a time to be extremists for love, creative extremists for love. This is the time for our spirits to choose. So tell me if it's there with you. What is your spirit choosing? What is your spirit choosing? Connection. Compassion. Courage. Resistance. Hope. Say again. Honesty. Love. Perseverance. Attention. Yes, my spirit is choosing yes. The way leads on, my friends. The way is one. So let it be so, and let it be now, and let it be always. Amen. Our closing hymn is number 168. If you will rise in body and spirit and join in singing One More Step. Will you remain standing for our closing benediction, friends? A reminder, following our service today, there'll be an info session about our comprehensive campaign here in the sanctuary a few minutes after the service, and also a Soul Matters discussion downstairs in the common room. May all beings be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings experience profound joy in the causes of profound joy. May all beings listen to their spirits and let their spirits choose. And may all beings get free. And will you join me in the words of our unison benediction written in your order? For those who come here seeking God, may God go with you. For those who come embracing life, may life return your affection. For those who come to seek a path, may the way be found and the courage to take it step by step. Go in peace, my friends. The service begins. When the service ends, you're invited to stick around for a sing-along of Edelweiss. The lyrics are in your order of service.
Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright. You look happy to meet me, blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clean and bright. You look happy to meet me. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my home.